Reference angle, the symbol is called reference angle. The symbol of this is theta ref. And theta ref, the reference angle is always greater than 0 and less than 90, which is mean it's always in quadrant 1. And let's talk a little bit of quadrant. If we have the coordinate x, y plane, right? But if we put it in a degree, we start from 0 and then now it's 90. Remember, it always go counterclockwise. And then if we furthermore come down to 180 and then 270, and when we do a full circle back to original is 360. Therefore 0 can also be 360 degree. And quadrant is here. Quadrant 1, the space between 0 to 90 degree. Quadrant 2 is 90 to 180. Quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And with this quadrant, we need this later on to how we find the reference angle. The definition is the following. If the angle is in quadrant 1, in Q1, reference angle is equal to the angle in Q1. If is in Q2, then reference angle is equal to 180 degree minus the angle in Q2. If is in Q3, then the formula for reference angle is whatever the angle in Q3 minus 180 degree. In Q4, in quadrant 4, then we have to use the reference angle is equal to 360 degree minus the degree, whatever the angle in quadrant 4. This is the formula how we find the reference angle. And let's do some example. Find reference angle. What happens if we have the angle is 220? 220 degree. Remember, if you want to draw it out on the plane, this is 0, 80, this is 90, and 180, 270. And 220, it seems like between 180 and 270. In other words, if you start from 0, go counterclockwise all the way to here, is 210 here. That's the degree. But we want to find the reference angle. And according to the formula, this is in quadrant 3. This is in Q3. This is Q3. This whole quadrant is Q3. And if in Q3, the third one, and then we have the reference angle will be calculated. Will be calculated by whatever the angle in Q3 minus 180. So this is whatever the angle in Q3 is 210 minus 180. This is equal to 30 degree. And the reference angle is 30 degree. What's good about this is if I ask the question sine 210, and if you plug in calculator, it will give you answer. But if you convert to the reference angle before you plug in calculator, it's same as sine 30. And we know that sine 30 right away by the table exact value is half. But you have to think about, now you have to think about all students take calculus. If sine in the third quadrant will be negative instead, because in the third quadrant only tangent is positive. Example 2. If we have cosine 150, so first of all we have to convert the 150 into the reference angle. And to find this, think about where is 150. 0, 90, 180, 270. 150 seems like around here, between 90 and 180. This is 150. And remember, reference angle is always at quadrant 1, so we have to first find the reference angle. Since this reference angle, this is in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, according to the formula, is 180 minus whatever the angle we have in quadrant 2. And the angle is 150, so it's 180 minus 150 equal to 30 degrees. That's our reference angle. And which means that if we say cosine 150 is also same as cosine 30, and cosine 30 we give you the exact value, which is radical 3 over 2. But again, we have to determine what sign, what's positive or negative here. What should I pick? Then you have to check the quadrant. All students take calculus. And this is in quadrant 2. So S stands for only sign is positive. And this is cosine. So if it's cosine, then the sign here will be negative. But in the other word, if I'm saying that if this is sine, then this would be a positive. Example number 3. We have cosine 240. To do this, first of all, we have to find the reference angle with respect to 240. And 240, we have to first find what quadrant is on. 0, 90, 180, 270. Sorry about this. And 240 seems like in here. And here stand for quadrant 3. This is quadrant 3. 1, 2, 3. And quadrant 3, the reference angle in quadrant 3 is 240, wherever the angle in 240, minus 180. Then we get 60 degrees. Afterward, we have 60 degrees, then we can plug in back cosine 240 is exactly same thing as cosine with the reference angle 60. And cosine 60, according to the exact value, the table, we have 1/2. And what about the sign? Is that positive or is that negative? Then this will be determined by the quadrant. A, S, T, C. So in the third quadrant is T, means only tangent is positive, everything else is negative. So cosine is part of everything else. Then this is negative half. Cosine 240 can be written as cosine 60 is equal to negative half.